In this YouTube video, I'm going to equip you with all of the tools that you need to be able to start generating qualified appointments or qualified leads for your clients using live AI agents. This strategy does not rely on expensive and unreliable real-life call centers. This is purely using AI, and it uses online tools that anybody can learn and anybody can utilize. And by leveraging AI agents, you can gain a competitive advantage against your competitors, and you can deliver amazing results for your clients. And finally, I'm going to show you how you can seamlessly implement this for your clients by integrating it directly into your GoHighLevel account, giving you step-by-step instructions. So let's get straight on with the video. And if you gained value from this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos just like this. Okay, so right now I am live inside one of my GoHighLevel sub accounts, and we're going to show you this live in action. So let's walk through these messages. You can see that this person has inquired via one of our Facebook ads, and we've immediately sent them a text that says, "Hey, it's Ricky here from Summit Cleaning. We would love to get you booked in. Could you just let us know if we have the right number by replying yes to this text message, and then a member of the team will respond with next steps." Now, it's important to mention that every initial text that you send will come with an automated reply stop to unsubscribe. This is a legal requirement in most countries, so you cannot avoid this. However, all we're doing here is we're trying to trigger a response from that customer so that our bot can then kick in. And later on in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to integrate that seamlessly so you can do this for yourself. But the customer then replies yes within just a minute. Our bot then comes back immediately and says, "Thanks. We'll set up a phone consultation to discuss everything in detail." But then we're going on to ask a few questions about the project and a few questions to qualify that customer, and just to make sure that they're actually going to show up to the appointment or to the consultation that we're scheduling in. So we've said, "Could you please provide the best date and time for you and a brief description of the cleaning services that you're interested in?" This is pretty normal stuff, and obviously you can customize this and give your bot instructions and the type of conversation that you want and the type of questions you wanted to ask. But let's go into the next question. So she then says, "Would there be on the 20th? It's for one large corner sofa." So she pretty much goes straight in to book the appointment. It's important to mention that she actually replies 5 minutes later. So if this was a real life agent, it may then take that real life agent about 5-10 minutes longer to then insert this message and then carry on responding. But our bot has come back immediately and said, "We can definitely schedule a consultation for the 20th. To ensure we provide the best service, could you please let us know what type of business you have?" This is a B2B ad, but obviously if this was B2C, that would be a different message. This will help us understand the setting and usage of the sofa to tailor our approach. And said, "Thank you for clarifying. We'll focus on your personal needs then. For the consultation on the 15th, would you prefer a morning or afternoon slot? Also, is this a one-off clean for your sofa, or are you considering considering setting up a more frequent cleaning service?" So again, these are questions that we've asked the bot to ask. Now, she's responded with 2 messages. First one says morning call, and the next one says just a one-off clean. So let's hope the bot has intercepted that and is able to then answer both those questions in one message. It says, "Great. For the morning of Friday 15th, we have several slots available. Would 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. work for you? For a 15-minute phone consultation. This will allow us to finalize the details of your sofa cleaning on the 20th. 10 a.m. please." It's then said, "I have scheduled a consultation for 10 a.m. on the 15th. Do you have any more questions, or is there anything else you'd like me to know before then?" And the bot has gone ahead, because it's integrated seamlessly into GoHighLevel, it's then gone ahead and scheduled that appointment with the client for 10 a.m. on the 15th. And this can now trigger more automations to remind the client of the appointment, and also to remind your client of the appointment details. And she's responded with no thanks, and it's just replied, "Perfect. I've got you booked in for 10 a.m. 15th. Looking forward to speaking with you then. Lucy, have a great day." And then the client has then intercepted and carried on the message flow. So you can see how smart this AI can be. What we're going to do next is we're actually going to jump into the tools that we're using to build this GoHighLevel bot. We're going to walk through the process of building this out from scratch, and we're going to create a sample client, and we're also going to test that client live so you can see how we build it and how we then implement it into a GoHighLevel account. I just want to mention before we go any further that all the tools utilized in this, there are 2. We're using GoHighLevel and we're using Closebot. Now you can get a 30-day trial to both. You can actually get a $100 off your first month, paid month with Closebot if you use the code that I've left in the description box down below, which is Agency Club 100. Use that code and you get $100 off. And you can also get a full 30-day trial with GoHighLevel by using the link down below. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so the tool that we're going to be using for the AI is going to be Closebot.ai. It is important to mention there are tools within GoHighLevel that can do a similar thing, but from my experience, it's just not quite of the same level as Closebot. Perhaps in the future, GoHighLevel will catch up and we can just seamlessly use GoHighLevel for literally everything. But for now, I am using Closebot. Pricing is reasonable, so you've got kind of like a few options here. I'm going to go into build monthly, assuming most people are going to be using the monthly billing. You can create a basic user or you can create a standard user. The main difference between these two things is that this one gives you 1 bot, this one gives you 3 bots. Now, it's important to mention you can integrate 1 bot into multiple sub accounts. So let's say, for example, you've got 3 clients all within roofing and you wanted to integrate 1 bot with all 3. You could actually just do 1 bot and you could integrate it with all 3 sub accounts. However, if you use my code down below, you can actually get $100 off your first month, and you can have 3 separate bots, all individually built. So you can go ahead and use the link down below. Okay, so here I am now logged into my Closebot account, and the one thing you want to do is come down here and click on modify bot. What this is going to do is going to allow you to actually build your bot from scratch, and it's going to allow you to actually then test your bot by clicking on the test your bot section here, which allows you to actually in real time go in and test your bot, give it feedback, and you can even reset it with this button here, so we can actually test it live before we then go ahead and integrate it into our GoHighLevel account. Now, for the purposes of making this a reasonably interesting and good video, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove all of these pre-filled things in here that I've been building before this video. We're actually going to build one live from scratch and then test it, and then we're going to go ahead and integrate that bot into our high-level account for real. Okay, so the first thing that I've done is I've gone into Google Doc here and I've just created a sample client. Now, this obviously is not a real client. I mean, maybe it is a real client, but it's not my client. And I've given it a company name. I've given it a location. I've given it an areas covered. And I've also gone through a list of services and prices. And the last thing I'm actually going to put down here, company reputation. So I'm going to put down here, company is rated 4.9 out of 5 on Google and has been in business for over 10 years with all the regulations. Also, the company offers a 10-year guarantee on all installations. This includes any repair works in the future. Okay, cool. So we've got our information. What we're now going to do is we're going to come into our bot and we're going to click on general. Now, this is where we can give our bot a name. This is purely for your own benefit. So I'm going to call this roofs are us. Now, you could obviously name this generic roofing bot if you planned on integrating this with multiple sub accounts. And we're going to give our bot a name. Now, this is the name you want to call your bot. It's going to be what it identifies as. So you can just choose a generic male or female name. For the purpose of this, I'm going to call my bot. In fact, let's just stick with Susie. Let's go with Susie. It's a nice casual kind of UK-based name, so that will work. We've then got down here things such as response delays and frequency AI typos. Now, me personally, I don't really like response delays. It already takes about sort of 5 to 10 seconds for the bot to respond, and I'd actually rather the bot be fast. However, if you wanted this to seem more kind of realistic, you could have a 5-second response delay. For the purpose of this video and making it as quick as possible, we're going to put that at 0. And then we've got frequency AI typos. This is basically like how often your bot is going to misspell things and then have to autocorrect itself with an asterisk afterwards. Now, I think this, when I've changed this in the past, you choose something between 0 and 100. So if you, for example, put 100, it would make multiple spelling mistakes in almost every message. If you put 0, it's effectively going to make 0 spelling mistakes. Now, I think a professional company would actually probably not make any spelling mistakes. So I tend to leave this as 0, but you could always put it as 5, which means it's going to make the occasional message 1 in 10, 1 in 20 messages. But for now, I'm going to leave that at 0. And we've got frequency breakup, larger messages. So that basically means if it's sending a reasonably long message, is it going to break it up into multiple texts? Now, because you're paying, although it is relatively cheap once you integrate with OpenAI, which we're going to talk about later, because you're paying for credits, you do not want this to be too high. Okay, so what I've done is I put it as 25. So this is a particularly long message, and by the way, it's the same out of 100 as it was before. If this is a particularly long message, then you want to make this, you want it to break up into maybe 2 texts, but what you don't want doing is sending like 5 to 10 messages, which in something that could seamlessly be 1 text. If you are targeting a younger demographic who are more used to sending multiple texts and pressing enter every few words, maybe you could increase that, but for now I'm going to keep that at 25. And then we've got a prohibited words list, which is basically like what words you want it to avoid. I've gone with cheap. However, you can obviously test your bot out multiple times, and if it's saying certain things and you think, oh, I don't really like that, you can come back to the bot and you can keep on improving it. You can add those messages in as prohibited words. So we're going to skip past integrate, because we're going to come back to the integration once we've actually built our bot, so we can then go ahead and integrate it with our GoHighLevel sub account. We're going to go ahead and click on detect. Now I tend to just leave this as default. It's going to default probably take a couple of these anyway. But basically what this means is it's going to, for example, if the contact becomes aggressive, so the person your bot is interacting with, you want it to basically turn off or stop the bot. If the contact says goodbye, you want to stop the bot. I've left these unticked, but again, what you can do is you can run it, and if you're finding that it's sending message when it shouldn't be, you can come back into detect and you can flick these on or off. I have got contact is a spammer, which obviously if you're running Facebook messages, you're going to get a fair amount of kind of spam messages. It's just unavoidable. So I have put that as contact spammer or phishing. You turn that on, so it's just going to not respond to those DMs. And if it's likely another bot, again, you want to turn it off. What you don't want to have is two bots interacting with each other, constantly messaging. So I put that as off. And then obviously if contact reach end of objectives, you can then switch off, but we're going to set our bot up properly, so we don't necessarily need to worry too much about that. So let's go ahead to the main section, and this is the first place that you're going to want to start with. Now, bearing in mind, this is AI, this isn't an automation that we're building in GoHighLevel, so we don't have to give this crystal clear instructions, right? We want to give it as much information as we are required, and then we want to allow our bot to actually actually be able to pick up and learn how to like navigate the conversation itself. Before I go into this, I do want to come over to this document here, which is a GoHighLevel document, which allows you to pull custom values from inside of your GoHighLevel account, as you can see here, and you can then pull those in. So one of those examples is going to be at lead name. What this allows us to do is if somebody actually comes into our bot and has come from a Facebook form, we've already collected their name, we can actually go into GoHighLevel into our custom values. We can pull that custom value, so such as, for example, address or industry. We can actually pull those in, and we can tell our bot to pull that information from GoHighLevel and use it in the conversation, which makes your conversations a lot more kind of smart, and just it makes them a lot more kind of organic and seem more natural, because again, we want this to seem like a real person. So the first thing we're going to do is, why is this conversation happening? So the way I'm going to start this is I'm going to say something like, imagine you are, well, actually no, I'm not going to say imagine, I'm going to say you are a customer service service representative from Roofs Are Us, based in the Manchester. Very basic. We're going to start simple, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to kind of adjust this if we need to. I actually didn't mention bot voice. This is basically the tone of voice that you want your bot to sound like. I tend to put like 3 or 4 things. It does give you some kind of samples that you can pop in there. So I put approachable, to the point, professional. So I want this to be approachable, but I also don't want it to drag on. I find sometimes these bots can be a little bit too friendly and just kind of ramble on a little bit, so I want it to be kind of to the point. I'm going to go ahead and click save. You want to get into the habit of saving regularly so you don't lose your progress. You do need to click save so you can then test your bot. So we've done that. So now the bot knows why the conversation is happening. So I've just told it that you are a customer service representative from Roofs Are Us, based in Manchester, and lead name has responded to a Facebook ad for a free quote for a roof repair or replacement. You want to respond as though you work for the company and are trying to help the customer find the right solution, and then book them in for an in-person quote at their house. So we've now got important business information. If we look on the right here, it says any information here. So any information you want your bot to always have access to goes here. So this is basically like key information. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say to it, I am going to paste some key information as well as FAQs below for your reference. Now again, you want to be nice and clear. We're going to go to our document. We're going to pull our information here. We're going to come in here. We're going to paste this in. Okay, great. So we've got this information here that the bot is kind of going to use to rely on. So just product information, what they offer, what areas they cover, and stuff like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually we're going to leave this as it is for now. I think this is enough. Obviously, you can go up to 1,500 characters. I don't think we need to yet. And then we're going to put how to respond. This is essentially what it says is reinforce your bot responses by letting it know what you do and don't want to see when it responds. Examples would be telling it don't be exclamatory, whatever that means, or don't tell the contact you are a bot. So most importantly, act as though you are a real person, and you could obviously say named Susie, sorry, or again, you could pull the actual variable. So for example, you could pull the actual username from your GoHighLevel account. For now, we're just going to leave it as Susie. Obviously, you could make it unnamed if you wanted to. Susie, who works for Roofs Are Us. And then we're going to say to it, and the goal is to respond to the customer's needs, but not to talk too much, get to the point, but be attentive to what they need. Okay, and we may come back here, and again, you can see here, you can use custom variables if you want to. I may do another video more advanced on Closebot and how to do that. We're going to go ahead and click save, and then we're going to go to our next section. I am going to quickly walk through these other sections, and we're going to come back to the core one, which is going to be objectives. So objectives is basically where you tell the bot what you want it to do and what information you want it to collect. The knowledge section is going to be essentially, you can give, as it says in the main section, if you come down here, we've got this how to respond. If you've got FAQs, you can add those to the knowledge section. I'm actually going to leave this blank for now, but you can essentially keep on adding more information inside of this knowledge section. But we're going to go ahead and move on from that. And you've got, again, follow-ups, which is like essentially smart follow-ups. So this is essentially, you can trigger the bot to respond to clients, message clients, and kind of essentially it will, on its own, it will figure out how to follow up. Or you can give it, a wait count, so you can tell it to wait, a certain time unit, such as like you could tell it to wait 5 days, or you can set it 1 day. And you could add follow up. Again, you could follow up, and you could basically, the bot is going to smartly follow up with that person after a day with a message it thinks is most suitable for that person, what they need. We're just going to stick with the bot responding to messages that comes in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go head over to objective section. Now you can click here and you can open this up, and it'll give you a walkthrough of how to use the objective section. But I mean, I've tested this bot, I've been running it for a little while, so I'm actually going to just walk you this through myself. So we essentially have a start here, and then we have priorities. Okay, so what this means is your start here is like, how do you want the bot to start? So you've got multiple choices here. If you click on this, you can either gather information or you can give information. Those are essentially the two core things here. So for example, if you were to give information and we were to click save, that would turn green. If you were to gather information, it would turn purple. So those are essentially the two core things. For example, giving information is letting the customer know what your process is and that you're going to ask them a few questions before you can get them booked in for an appointment, right? For example, gathering information would be actually asking the customer to give you an answer to a question, or to let you know what type of project you have or what type of home you live in, for example. What we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and delete all of these, and then I'm going to walk you through this step by step. Okay, so now we've cleared that, we're going to start our priority 1. So we're going to click start here. We're going to go ahead, click this, and we're going to give information, okay? We're going to give it a short description. Now, basically, this is just really short, really to the point. We're going to say, and we're going to go at lead name, know the process. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it some prompts. And it says here, optional prompt used only while bot is working on this statement objective. Okay, so great. So this bot's going to only use this prompt when it's actually at this stage. So we're going to say, tell the let at lead underscore name know that you've received their inquiry, and we'll ask a few questions to make sure that you are able to help them with what they need. You will then book them in for an in-person appointment where one of the team will come around and provide them with an accurate quote. Okay, so we've now written that out. So you can read through this, you can pause, you can have a look at what I've popped here. And then we're going to give it a short description such as, this will be essentially what's going to show up here. So we're just going to call this lead. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click close. We're going to save our progress so we don't lose it. And then we're going to move on to our next objective. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to gather information. I'm then going to give it a short description. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask at lead underscore name for their name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, firstly, ask at lead name. Obviously, hopefully, you should know what their name is. For their name for their first and second name. If you don't have that information already. Obviously, if we're utilizing GoHighLevel properly, we'll have that information. Now what we can do here is we can skip objective if it's already filled out. Now what this means is, for example, if you already have that customer's name, if the bot has pulled it from GoHighLevel, then it's going to skip that objective. So I'm going to go ahead and click, oh, here we go. Also, we've got auto-filled updates. This is basically like name. So this is going to update the customer's name or pull the name if it has it already. And I'm going to go ahead and click skip objective if it's already filled out. The next thing we've got is the max attempts. This is basically like how many attempts you want to make to get the person's name if that person doesn't immediately respond with the name. So let's say, for example, you say, hey, what's your first and last name? Customer responds saying, hey, how much does it cost? You're telling the bot how many times to basically attempt to get the person's name. So we're going to go ahead and click 2 attempts. That's typically what I would do. And then we come to sensitivity. I tend to leave this at default 50. This is basically like how sensitive do you want your bot to be to gain this information. So obviously we're only asking for the name, but if this was slightly more sensitive information that we were trying to ask, we may want to put this down to like a 25. I'm going to leave it at 50, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click close, and then I'm going to click save in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and gather my next one. The next thing I'm going to ask them, actually I'm going to move to the next priority, because just to clarify, these priorities are based on literally as they say. It is a priority, like which priority do you want to collect that information. So for example, if you need to know something, for example, do they actually want a roof replacement, then you may want to move these around. So we're going to probably play around with these a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to find out what they are looking for. Find out what at lead underscore name is looking for, whether that's a roof replacement or repair work. Auto-filled updates, we're not going to do auto-filled updates, and we are going to leave skip objective if it's already filled out, because we just want that information to be asked by the bot. So this is a gather information. Max attempts, probably put that on 2 again, or maybe even, yeah, probably this is 2 because we do want that information. We're going to leave sensitivity at 50, and then we're going to ask it project type. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click close. So now we've asked for name, we've asked the project type, and then we've asked for the next stage. So I'm going to keep this bot relatively simple, but you could obviously ask lots of questions here. So let's say, for example, you wanted to know type of home that they lived in. Well, you can actually put that as the same priority as project type, because it may be just as important to your business. So we put in here type of home, find out type of home, so what type of home at lead name lives in. For example, terrace, house, semi-detached, detached, bungalow. For example, okay. Auto-filled updates, we're not going to skip if filled out. We're going to do max attempts 1 because it's not that important, and we're going to call it type of home. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click close. Now, obviously, we're going to save. You could add multiple different objectives in here. We're going to stick with that. The next thing that we need to know is is basically going to be to email address. So, or phone number, which is most important. So, ask at lead name for their phone number, so that we are able to call them to confirm their appointment. Or gather info for max attempts, we're going to put this at 2, leave it at 50. Again, this is quite important information, so we do really need this information. We're going to call this number. So we're going to leave that as is. Click, in fact, yeah, auto-filled updates, we're going to change that to phone number. So that what that's going to do is actually change this information here. So we are looking for a valid phone number for at lead, so that we are able to contact them regarding their quote. Now, again, we might already have this information from our lead form, so we're going to go ahead and click skip objective if it's already filled out. We're going to save it as max attempts 2, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go click close. So now we're collecting their phone, we're collecting the type of home, project type, and name. What I'm actually not going to do is I'm not going to collect email address for the purposes of this, because it's just a little bit long for them to have to type out. I'm hoping that our lead form will already have that data already. We really just want to make sure we've got the right phone number. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and book appointment. Book. And again, we're trying to gather information here again. Book an appointment with @lead_name. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click field updates. I'm going to go ahead and click calendar AI booking. Click that. There we go. Book a 15-minute in-person appointment with lead name. Actually, one thing we are going to need is their address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here. What we can actually do is we're going to come back later and do this. But we are actually, once we've connected our GoHighLevel account, we are actually able to connect to a calendar that's within GoHighLevel, so we can actually book directly into that GoHighLevel calendar. So what we'll do is we will come back once we've integrated with GoHighLevel. We'll come back to the calendar and we'll go ahead and integrate that seamlessly, so that is done. This one for max attempts, we're going to again stick that at 2. Okay, cool. So we've got book a 15-minute in-person appointment with lead name. Now before this, I'm going to have to add collect address. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and book an appointment for, let's just say our company, one of our team, to come to their home and inspect the roof, and provide them with an accurate quote. Now I'm going to go ahead and just click close, and I'm going to go ahead and actually save this. So what I'm going to do is we haven't given it that much information. So what we're actually going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and test our bot and just see how well this does with the information that's currently been provided. So remember, we haven't told it to collect an address. We haven't really told it anything yet. So we're going to go ahead and test. I think it should be this one. You can actually search for a contact in here. So I'll see if I can find my name. There we go. I found my name. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's just reset this information. And then we're going to go ahead and test the bot. So we can trigger it by responding yes, which is the trigger that we're going to use with our GoHighLevel when we integrate it later on. I'll show you how to do that. So let's see what our bot comes back with. Okay, great. So it's so far it's right. So it says, hello Samuel, I'm Susie from Roofs R Us. Thanks for reaching out to help you better. Could you please tell me a bit more about your roofing needs? Once I have the details, we can schedule a free in-person quote at your convenience. Okay, great. So we're going to try and test this bot a little bit. So what does it ask me for? So just tell me, okay, my roof is leaking, need help ASAP. Let's see what it comes back with. Okay, great. So it said, I'm sorry to hear about the leak. We can definitely help with that. Could you let me know what type of home you have, e.g. detached, semi-detached, terrace, bungalow? This helps for further inspection. It's a semi-detached. I'm going to give it my location, see if it picks up on that. Based in Warrington. See what it comes back with. So we haven't given it a prompt to collect address, so it's probably going to allow us to book an appointment without collecting address. So let's see if it does. It probably is going to, but let's see if it does. Thanks for information. I mean, we cover Warrington. That's perfect. Could you? And again, I've told the bot. Remember, I've told the bot that we cover within 20 miles of Warrington. So it may have just picked that. I'm not exactly sure if it's just picked that up from being an AI bot and it knows that information, or if it's just saying yes to everything. So what I might do is come back later and test it. Actually, I might do that now. Sorry, I am based in Swansea, which is other side of the country for those of you who don't know. In fact, it's not even in the same country. Let's see if it comes back and says yes, or if it says no, I'm sorry, we can't service that area. That will give us key information to if this bot is being accurate or not. I apologize for the confusion, Samuel. Unfortunately, Swansea is outside of our service area. Perfect, so it's working. That is incredible. Sorry, I meant Warrington. Okay, cool. So it's picked that up. That's excellent. Okay, so now it said Warrington. So it's let us know availability for 15 in-person appointment to assess. So this is all working amazingly. So I'll check our teams for an AI Warrington to get back to you shortly with some options. I mean, could you have any specific concerns, questions about process? Okay, so it's now saying it's going to go back and check, which isn't ideal. So I'm going to go ahead and try and push it. Can I have an appointment tomorrow morning? Now, obviously, once you've connected that up with your GoHighLevel calendar, it will then integrate with the GoHighLevel calendar. It'll be having conversations with it, and it'll be pulling information back. So it's saying now I'll need to check our schedule for tomorrow morning's availability. So obviously, what's happening is it's not integrating seamlessly with the calendar. But we know the bot is working reasonably well. So what we are actually going to do is we're going to move on to the integration section. We're going to quickly integrate this with GoHighLevel, integrate it with our calendar, and then we're going to come back to our bot finally, and we're going to test it out with the live calendar and see if it's working. So the first thing you want to do is come back to your modified bot, and you want to go to integrate. So you can see here that you've got previously added. So basically, if you follow the setup instructions that is provided to you by Closebot, it literally takes less than 2 minutes. It is one of the easiest things to do. Literally all you need to do is to connect it with your lead connector account, and then you want to make sure you select a sub account. Now, one thing you don't want to be doing is selecting a agency account. You do want to specifically select a sub account that you want to integrate this bot with, and you can add, if I wanted to add new one, you can go in here. I can then, once I've obviously got this connected with my sub account, you can select multiple sub accounts, I think. So let's go ahead and just click on one such as this. Okay, and now as you can see, it's now connected to 2 sub accounts. So we could, as I said, connect the same bot to multiple sub accounts. We're going to go and remove this one now. We're going to stick with our initial sub account. So the first thing you want to do before doing anything is you want to actually connect to your OpenAI. So what this does is it bypasses Closebot's sort of charging system, and it instead charges your OpenAI's charging system, which is much cheaper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect my OpenAI integration. I'm going to go to my OpenAI, I'm going to paste in my API key and show you how to do that. So you're going to want to come to platform.openai.com, and you're going to want to set yourself up with an account. Now, if you use ChatGPT, you probably already have an account, so you can literally just log in via your ChatGPT account. Then you're going to want to come to settings, and you're going to come down to, first thing you're going to come down to, I believe, usage controls. Sorry, billing, and under billing, you're going to want to then basically add your payment details so that OpenAI is able to charge you. Now, at any stage, you can come into usage and you can actually see how much you're being charged by OpenAI. It is very cheap. You can actually see a breakdown of how much you spent, you know, what the cost was, what that got you, and you can see I've only spent looks like about $30 in total. So it's much cheaper than Closebot, and you want to come into billing, add your card details, and then you're good to go. So if you come into API keys, so once you've come to your API keys, you're going to want to come here and click on create new secret key. You're going to name it, so we'll just call this Closebot project. Just click default project, and then click on create secret key. And then you're going to want to copy this key, come back to your Closebot account, and you're going to want to paste that key in here and click on connect. And now that is connected to your OpenAI. You won't get charged by Closebot for your credits. It will now be charging directly to OpenAI, which is much cheaper. So we've come into GoHighLevel, and we're going to go to the sub account that we're going to be using for this particular bot. Now, if you go back into here, you can make sure that it's the same. If you just see this string of letters and numbers, if we go to the last ones, we've got F4FD. If we go back to here, we can see we've got F4FD as the user of that particular sub account, so that we know that is correct. You want to come in here, you're going to want to create a new automation, and you're going to call it Closebot AI or something like that. It's literally one of the easiest things you've ever done in your life. You want to give it a trigger. Once you then actually integrated this, you can obviously customize those triggers, such as if you want it to come from a specific lead form, or if you want it to come from a specific, like just Facebook DMs, for example, you can obviously customize the actual triggers that you want it to actually trigger. And then you want to create a webhook as a, in fact, I'll do that for you. So you basically literally click create webhook, action name webhook, method is going to be post, and then you're going to want to paste this URL in here. So it's https semicolon / api.closebot.ai / message. Now it's going to be this exact URL. You want to paste that in here, click on save action, click save, and it is now integrated, and it should now trigger those responses. Now, the second important thing that we need to do is we need to create an actual calendar event. So if I come into calendar and go to calendar settings, we want to make sure that we actually have a calendar event in here, so I'm able to actually create custom events. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and create a calendar event inside of my sub account, so you guys can actually see how it works once you've actually created a calendar event and how that integrates with your Closebot account. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've created a calendar called in-person quote. We can actually go ahead and share this, and we can actually view the live link just so we know it's valid and it's working. We can see here what we could actually even do, should we so want to, is we could go down here to integrations, and we can actually integrate our Google account. So you can see here mine's already connected. But you can come down here, you could integrate your client's Google profile here, so that way it will cross-reference with their Google account. If they're not available, it won't book in the appointment. So now that we've done that, we're going to come back into our bot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go to my main like I did before. Let's actually show my objectives, and we go to booking, and what we're going to do is we're going to integrate this with our AI. So we're going to go ahead and click calendar AI booking. Click that, I was already selected. We're going to go, you can see here in-person quote. However, if that doesn't come up, we've got other here. What we can do is we can actually paste, we go back, change this. You can actually, I think, paste the ID. However, mine's coming up, but if you need to, I do believe you can come into here. You can go into your calendar settings. If we go down to calendars, you can go to calendar settings, you can pull up your calendar, and you can actually copy the ID in there just to make sure it's 100% accurate. But that seems to be working. So we're going to go ahead and click close. We're going to go ahead and click save. And the last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to test our bot one more time just to see if those have been fixed, and if it now allows me to actually book in, because now it can speak to my calendar. Hopefully by this point it should know that I'm ready to book an appointment, and it should automatically book me in. So let's go ahead, let this load up. We're going to go ahead and select our sub account. I will actually search for my name, which I put as D, which should hopefully come up. It's not coming up. That's fine. We'll leave it as blank. We'll just search for Samuel. It's not coming up. Let's just leave it as blank for now. So we'll go ahead and we'll just click reset, make sure that's reset. And we're going to go ahead and click yes. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So let's hit yes. Let's see if that responds. Okay, great. Thanks for reaching out to Tissue Better. Can you please tell me a bit more about your roofing needs? After that, we can schedule a visit to provide you an accurate quote. Roof is leaking. Send help. Help. Let's go ahead and click that. See how it comes back. See how it comes back. Ultimately, that is a bot. So it says, I'm sorry to hear about the leak, Samuel. We can definitely help with that. Could you please tell me what type of home you have? So for example, you might want to, in this instance, have it ask more questions, but we can, for now, this is okay. It's semi-detached, just say, thank you for your information, Samuel. Could you please provide your phone number so we can arrange a time for our team to come out and assess the leak? I'm just going to put a fake number. Not my real one. Place that in there. Okay, cool. So it says we can schedule a 15-minute in-person appointment to assess the leak, provide you with a quote. Would tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. work better? And I'll say, can you come at 10 a.m. Now, obviously, the bot now knows, it should know my calendar, so it should be able to check. Oh, okay, so it only works with live contacts. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to quickly grab a live contact, and let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, so I've gone ahead and updated a real contact in here, so now it should work. So it's giving us available slots. Tomorrow, Tuesday, January 21st, we have slots from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Please. Let's see if it goes ahead and books me in. Great, we booked you in for 10 a.m. Okay, perfect. So that is now done. Now, one thing it's not doing is it's not actually collecting that user's address. So one thing we are going to do is we're going to quickly go to our objectives. I'm just going to pop address in here. It's the same priority as phone number. So we're going to put collect at lead name address, and we're going to set it just collect first line of address and their postcode, so that we know where to go to visit them. Please ask at lead underscore name for their address so we know where to go to visit them. Great. So we're going to gather info. We're going to go max temps 2, sensitivity 50. Gather info. We're going to click close, and we're going to click save, and then that should then collect the address. Now, what I won't do is I won't do this again. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you how to set this up with GoHighLevel, and then we're going to test it on our actual GoHighLevel bot. So we're going to go back into GoHighLevel. We're going to go over to our automations. I'm going to show you how you can set this up as an automation so that the when the customer responds, it kind of automatically triggers the bot. So we're going to create a workflow. We're going to click start from scratch, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to text the lead as soon as they come in. So this is for SMS. So we're going to go ahead and click Facebook lead form submitted, and we're going to select page. You would need to select pages and select your page. Obviously, my page isn't integrated, so we're just going to go ahead and click save trigger. Even though we don't have a page, you would want to integrate your Facebook page to get this to work. The next trigger you want to do is to SMS, to send an SMS message. So we're going to go ahead, click here, and all we're going to do is going to say, hey, Thanks for inquiring. Obviously, you could jazz this up. Please reply yes if we have the correct phone number. In fact, scrap all that. So I'm now going to jump into GoHighLevel. I'm going to show you exactly how I would integrate this to have it follow up with leads, and you can basically integrate this with your Facebook lead forms. I'm just going to jump into an automation that I had already previously set up, so you can see this in action with another sub account, and then we're going to jump into the test account, and we're going to show you this in action with the live bot. So you can see here, I've got two things. We've got number one, which is survey submitted. This is obviously two triggers that I'm using to trigger this, but you could just use Facebook lead form submitted and make sure your page is selected. And the second thing you want to do is going to be to set your first action. That's going to be to send an SMS. So what I did here is I put the hey, and I put the contact first name. I put so-and-so here from so-and-so company, whatever your company name is. Would love to get you booked in. Could you just let us know we have the right number, applying yes to this text, and then remember our team will respond with the next step. So you could say, for example, thanks for inquiring. In order for us to post your quote, please reply yes if you're still looking for a quote, and then our member of our team will be able to follow up with the next steps. Now, obviously, after that, you can then send an internal notification, or you can send it to a separate spreadsheet. Do whatever you want to do to then trigger the response, or do further, responses once that lead has filled in that form. But that is all you need to do to trigger the bot, because once you've had that person respond, if the bot, because the bot is based on a customer who applied, once that customer responds, the bot is then going to kick into action. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test the actual bot that we've just built. So I'm going to go into sites. I'm going to test this with a chat widget. Now you can easily create your own chat widget like I have by just creating new. Now obviously, because it's customer applied, that basically means anything. So the customer applies on Facebook, customer applies on the bot, customer applies on SMS, anywhere, it's going to trigger the bot. So I'm going to go into funnels. I've already got a funnel pre-created in here. We're going to click into that. We're going to go and preview that. That bot is down here. So we're going to go ahead and click this, and we're going to respond with hi or yes. We respond with yes like the SMS would, and let's see if this bot works. So it says give us a minute to assign you the best person to help out, and then hopefully it's going to assign us the bot so we can test it for real. Great. So thanks for reaching out and Roofs. I'm Susie, and we'll be happy to help you with your roofing needs. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you're looking for? So I'll speed this up so that we can get straight to the booking section and see if the address now gets collected. So what I've actually done is asked me now for my full name and the address. So I haven't given it the address, so we're going to see if it does the max attempts too, and actually just go ahead and ask me for that address secondly, and also if it collects my phone number. So it's not doing this in exactly the same order, but it's pretty good. So it's asking what type of home you have. Okay, and it's sent a second text. So I'll just say detached house in Warrington. Let's see what it says. And it said, could you please provide the first line of your address and postcode? So I'm just going to say 123 High Street, and I'll make up a postcode. SW176UNV. It's not right, but it hasn't been taught to check. So let's see if that works. Great. So could you also share your phone number? Okay, great. So let's share my. Send a number. That's not my correct number, but let's see if that worked. Asked again. So could we schedule an in-person appointment for a replacement quote this Wednesday? I'm going to say, can you come tomorrow at 3 p.m. And if your client, for example, wants like a day's notice, you can obviously do that within your GoHighLevel calendar settings. You don't need to do that within Closebot. And within your GoHighLevel calendar settings, you can set the times that you want to be booking in, and this is talking directly to your calendar. So it said, great, we've scheduled your appointment for 21st, 3 p.m. So what we're going to do now that we've selected that, great, thanks. We're going to go into GoHighLevel. We're going to go to our calendars, and fingers crossed, it has booked in that appointment for tomorrow. So we're going to click in-person quote, and we can see, great, it's booked my appointment in for tomorrow at 3 p.m. So now you can set up automation in GoHighLevel to send your client reminders, let them know when the appointment is, or you can even call to confirm that appointment, and you can do that 24/7, 365. It never sleeps. It is, exceptionally smart. And that is how you do it, guys. And that's hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. And as always, I'm going to continue making videos like this, teaching you guys how to get more clients, how to leverage tools like GoHighLevel and Closebot. And I will leave links down below where you can get all of my stuff, such as 30-day charge to this, all of my resources, my snapshots, and all of that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, like it if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.